Hey guys, Zealot Magic here, and holy crap, some more cards from Rivals are spoiled. Cool. I guess they finally started listening to literally everybody in the entire community, and instead of leaking 1 to 2 to 3 cards every 2 days or whatever the hell their old thing was, they're like, let's just dump 20 of them out there per day for like a week or whatever. Also, I have a feeling that their release schedule had to be tweaked because, somebody leaked the entire art book. Seriously, guy who did that, you're a jerk. I'm assuming it's a male because males commit more crimes. Is that okay with you, feminists? As long as I'm making fun of males and not females, is that cool with you? Okay, good. So first up, we've got, Azor himself, Azor the Lawbreaker. He's a 6/6 for 6. He is classic double white, double blue. Love it. So Isperia, even though Isperia's a little bit different. When Azor the Lawbreaker enters the battlefield, each opponent can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. That's an awful lot of pronoun confusion there, wizards. What turn and what player? I guess we'll have to wait for the card ruling for them to explain this incredibly poorly worded ability, or whatever you want to call it. Also, his ability is literally Sphinx's Revelation. What the hell? It's the card. It's double blue, white X. That card was such degenerate crap at the freaking 2013 tournament. It is comical that they would even attempt to reprint it, and here it is. I mean, not exactly in card form, but God, that deck. It is the definition of a degenerate garbage deck, and I do believe that it won the entire tournament. Watching the footage from that tournament might actually give you cancer. No joke. Anyway, it's a cool card. So basically you gain X life and draw X cards. It's going to cost you a fortune, but I mean, if you got him out for 6, you have bare minimum 3 mana to spare, so 3 cards and 3 life. Hey. I almost wish he would, tap down a creature or return it to hand or something typical blue-white, but, jamming them from casting instants or sorceries, I assume on each opponent's individual next turn, I guess, maybe. It's not nothing, and he is flying, and he does 6. I mean, he's alright. He's not amazing, but he's alright. I just love blue-white. They're my favorite 2 colors. That's what my first Commander deck was, and it's what my first Magic deck was. And I actually really like Sphinxes. I mean, they're pathetic, overcosted, and basically unplayable, but I like them. Next up, we've got Cherished Hatching. When Cherished Hatching dies, you may cast dinosaur spells this turn as though they had flash. Ooh. You kill the dino baby, you get the mama. Oh, and guess what? Also, whenever you cast a dinosaur spell this turn, it gains when this creature enters the battlefield, you may have it fight another target creature. You are going to get wrecked if you destroy this creature. I mean, if you do it when they have almost no cards in hand. This is so hilarious because, you don't really want to take 2 damage too many times. That's so much more than 1 damage. But, you also really don't want to destroy this. That card is hilarious. Next up, we got Deeproot Ellie. I'm not sure who she is in the storyline, but already hate it. It's a 1/1 Merfolk for 2, and whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target Merfolk you control. Honestly, not quite as good as the actual spell that does, Merfolk, non-Merfolk, I think, unless you're playing 100% Merfolk, but this is in itself a Merfolk. It's just a 1/1 for 2, so I don't know if it'll go into everybody's deck, and I really don't know why this is a rare. I mean, it's pretty good because you get a lot of value for 2, but it's not that good. Next up, very questionable name on this one, Direfleet Neckbeard. If they change the name of Fat Pack, not sure why they're going with Neckbeard there, but they can do whatever they want. I don't care. They could literally name it Hitler's Ghost, and if it's a good card, people would buy it and play with it. So this is a 3/2 pirate for 4. It's on color dually, I guess. It's an orc, which is explaining why it's ugly as hell. And attacking pirates you control get +2/+0. That is single-handedly game ending. Holy crap. Remember, these tribal decks are going to be a classic 8/2/20. I mean, it's going to be 8 times 4 of some pirates, 2 times 4 of some control whatever, or drawers, whatever, probably control though, and then 20 lands, or probably a little bit more, depending upon the curve. 8/2/20 is the most generic deck ever, but it works. I mean, look at my deck, Combat Specialist. 8 removal, or no, that would be a lot. 2 removal times 4, I assume is what it had, and then 8-ish times 4-ish. I mean, you don't really stick to the numbers. It was all First Strikers, Flyers, and Lifelinkers, and that deck just demolished everything. I've never won F&M more often with a deck than that one. So anyway, this is a lot of damage. He could easily, in an 8/2/20 deck, deal 16 extra damage. I mean, reasonably 10. I mean, just think about it. 5 pirates on the field. I mean, he includes himself, so 4 other pirates on the field when you drop him in, that's 10 extra damage. I mean, 10 extra damage is no joke. I mean, this is so good, I would actually say that it's actually going too far. I think this card's just a little bit too powerful. I mean, it doesn't work on defense, but you could just drop this out and just win. Just swing and win by itself. And it's already an on-tribal pirate. It's already a 3/2. That's just like too good. Next up, we got Dusk Legionnaire Zealot, and he enters the battlefield, and you draw a card and lose 1 life, and he's a 1/1 for 2. So you might just think, well, that's stupid. That's the worst cantrip I've ever seen. But remember, I mean, Metallic Mimic, there you go. Tribal ETB trigger. I think there might be something about whenever a vampire attacks. Oh yeah, actually there's like 3 cards that say that, I think. Like whenever you attack with a vampire or whenever something about non-token vampire or whatever, then do this. So he would just feed that. He's not really supposed to like single-handedly win the game or just dominate the board state with his amazing 1/1 stats. But the fact that you drop him down and immediately replace the card and ta-da, you just +1 your vampire count, do not discount that. So this is actually a really good card. Next up, Fanatical Fireband. Yay, more of the blue monkeys. I love the blue monkeys, even though they're goblins. They're not. They're monkeys, okay? It's a 1/1 with haste for 1, and you can tap it, sacrifice it, and deal 1 damage to creature or player. I love this. They've printed cards like this all the time. I love it. I love everything about this. It's freaking hilarious. This is basically an improved version of, like, what? Festering Newt, I want to say? There was a zombie that did this too with -1/-1 counters, actually. So this is pretty good. It's pretty good. Next up, we've got Forward Explorer of the Coalition. And when Forward Explorer of the Coalition enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a pirate card, reveal it, and then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it, not into your hand. Never did like that because 1, what if you end up shuffling either on accident or your opponent does something to make you shuffle? And then 2, you just wasted your next draw step. I mean, yeah, you kind of put something there, but you still have to kind of lose your next draw step. Then it says, whenever another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Now, that's crazy. So, remember, it says may for that first trigger, so if you don't want to do that, then, great. But you could, if you have exactly 4 mana and then you drop her in, you could, I guess, technically put, like, a 4 cost right on top of your deck, because that's what you need. Or you can go get that overpowered as all balls pirate that gives everybody +2, which is exactly what I would do with this card. So this is pretty darn good, and a lot of the best pirates are non-rares, so this would be pretty cheap to build. Next up, Forward Explorer of the Empire. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, then shuffle it, put it on top. Hey, imagine that. Oh, great. Whenever a dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it deal 1 damage to each creature. Each creature, including yours. So that's, there's your Enrage trigger. This is a vastly improved version, but he does cost 4, which I think is appropriate for what he does. He's also 1/3, but honestly, at this point, he could just be an enchantment and he'd still be considered pretty damn good. Next up, oh good, it's the Herald version. Yay. When it enters the battlefield, search for a merfolk, put it on top, duh. Whenever another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Forerunner of Heralds. Ooh, not on your choice, on her specifically. That is interesting. She's a 3/2 for 4, so I mean, honestly, even after 1 counter, she ain't that great, but if you got her up to be like an 8/8, I mean, the merfolk decks don't really have something like that, so I mean, it's a pretty useful card, I guess. Next up, yeah, you guessed it, Legion version, yay. When it enters the battlefield, yeah, Vampire top, got it. And then when another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1, but only until end of turn. This is weak, pathetic crap, and I don't think anybody's going to play it. I mean, if you use it like to go grab a 1 of like a 5/1 leveraging fetch card, then okay, but that's about it. Next up, Golden Denial. It has Ascend, and all creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. This is not an instant, and it costs 3, so it's pretty garbage, but if you have the City's Blessing, instead only creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. Those are 2 completely different strategies for 2 completely different decks, completely different creature counts. And then on top of it, Ascend, well, I mean, the more you have in the field, the less you would want to blow up what you have on the field. I get it. But if you're not guaranteed to get there, you're never going to get there. If you only have 9 permanents in play, but you really need to get rid of what they're running, you're going to accidentally kill everything on your side too. And that's just stupid. So honestly, I could see why they didn't make this a rare. It's not really a good card. Next up, Golden Chinese Buffet Statue. This one is an Artifact Golem construct, and it's a 4/4 for 4, which is already pretty darn good, but it does have Defender. Then if you pay 2, it fights another target creature you control. That's a bit odd, but if this creature itself dies, then you return it to the battlefield transformed. Okay. For all this roundabout nonsense, it better be damn good. So when you flip it, it becomes Golden Fortune Cookie, and it's a land. You can tap to add 2 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. That's insane. And then pay 4, tap it, and create a colorless 4/4 Artifact Golem creature token. Nowhere on there does it say defender. So that's pretty nuts. I mean, that is worth the flip, I would say. That is pretty good. I mean, you're going to have I guess like a 4-5 or bigger, I guess you would say. Or maybe some kind of death toucher if you didn't mind losing it. I don't know. You can't fight multiples, so you can't like effectively double block internally or whatever. This looks a little rough, but I mean, it's pretty damn good. This is just a darn good card. So I expect to see this one hit a pretty high price. Next up, Jungling Creeper, or as I like to call it, most of the level 3 judges apparently. It's a 3/3 for 3, and if you pay 5, which is outrageous, you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. There have been way better versions of this. Way better, and they were mono. This is a sad, pathetic attempt at being a really hyper-powerful black zombie, basically. That said, a lot of those, black zombies I just mentioned hit $20, so I mean, who knows? But I still think 5 is a little much to just get some garbage little 3/3 back. It's non-tribal, which means it's just a glorified filler card, which is what a lot of the mixed colors are, so yeah, this is just blah. Next up, some more foreign crap. I believe that translates to Mystery End, and it's an enchantment, 2 white, really weird old school looking artwork on this. Very strange style. And it states that when Mystery End enters the battlefield, exile target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less and opponent controls. When it leaves the battlefield, target opponent, not player, opponent, creates a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. Why would anybody play this for any reason? There are like 15 better cards than this. You can't get rid of anything bigger than 3 cost, which is just stupid. And then if they manage to get rid of this, they get something that's honestly probably better than what you got rid of. What the hell? We've officially found it, the worst card in the entirety of Ixalan, and ironically, it's card number 001 in the set. I would legitimately not put this in my deck at the pre-release. That's how bad of a removal card this is. Next up, we've got Polly the Raptor. This is a 6-cost mythic. Hello. It's only a 5/5, but in Rage, make a copy of it. Identical token copy of it. I mean, at a 5/5, I guess it would be hard to deal damage to it without, like, chumping it. I mean, you'd have to get blocked by a 6/6 or something, and then in that case, just, like, don't, swing. But if you have some red and rage trigger abilities, like, deal 1 damage to every dinosaur you control or whatever, this would come in pretty handy. I just think that 8's a little high. Next up, some more foreign crap that we can't read. Let's see, my Chinese simplified is a little bit rusty, but I believe it says Procession of Profanity. So apparently this is the card you play when you're completely mana screwed. So it's a 3-cost enchantment, legendary by the way, and it does absolutely nothing, but when you pay that required cost there of 5, you get to exile target creature. Then if there are 3 or more cards exiled with this card itself, then transform it. Removal on a stick, people! I don't care if it costs 5 or if it costs 10. That is a damn good card. Just kidding, if it costs 10, that would be terrible. On the flip side, it's Tomb of the Dusty Rose, and it's a legendary land, and you can tap it for any color, and then if you pay 4 total there with the split colors, you could put 1 creature card exiled with this permanent, so it is technically the same permanent, you just flipped it, onto the battlefield under your control, so you can basically summon it later. So this card is very powerful, very good. Next up, we've got Protein Raider, which makes sense because, they would steal anything with complex amino acid chains because there's not a whole lot of protein out there on the ocean. Amino acid deficiency was very huge with pirates as well as scurvy. So this garbage quality cell phone shot says you get a 2/2 for 3. It has raid. If you attacked with a creature this turn, you may have Protein Raider. Enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Your side, their side, anything. Okay. If your opponent controls like a 7/7, how and why would you swing that turn? How would you get the raid trigger? I guess you could flicker the creature, but either way, you are losing whatever you just used to trigger raid to copy whatever they have. It's probably worth it, but it's really not that great. Another kind of waste of a rare. Well, that is, of course, unless you have 1 giant creature or a creature with an amazing ability and you want to clone it and you're perfectly good to swing with a giant creature. Then it's a fantastic card. It's a shame they, kind of made it the wrong color for pirates. Whoops. Next up, Reconciling Phoenix, aka the greatest frickin' Hogwarts letter delivery owl ever. It's actually a 4-cost flying 4/3 in red, and it's a mythic. Oh my god, they made a red mythic that doesn't suck. Maybe. I haven't read the rest yet. When it dies, create a 0/1 red elemental creature token with at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature. a mandatory sacrifice trigger, that's weird. And return target card named Reconciling Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. Cool. Another Phoenix that you basically can't kill. Next up, we've got Silver Gravestone. Cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spells or abilities. That's kind of weird. If you pay 4 and tap it, exile Silent Gravestone and all cards from all graveyards, and then draw a card on top of it. Not bad for 1. I mean, this is, it's one of those, like, I guess anti-mill, and it's real particular. It's kind of like Ashes of the Abhorrent, which, like, nobody played, even in Modern. I don't know why. I mean, it should be like Blood Moon level. I mean, like the 3 cards that they printed recently, Ashes, Solemnity, and that weird other one, they should all be like $10 cards at this point because they stop entire decks. They are literally Blood Moon, and yet they're like 50-cent cards. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Modern players that they aren't throwing these in their sideboards, but who knows? Anyway, here's the 4th card, so I'm sure it'll be 25 cents in a hurry. Oh, I just realized I said it's anti-mill, and it actually gets rid of your graveyard, so scratch that. Not really anti-mill. Next up, Sphinx's Degree. Each opponent can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. I have a better idea. Don't put this card in your deck in the first place and just run Negate, and then whatever they cast, just counter that. Then instead of them sitting on the mana and using it for something else, they've actually lost the card and the mana, and they can't just cast the spell next turn. This is a garbage card. Oh, look, it's a rare. What the hell was Wizards thinking with this set where every single rare is pretty much universally garbage and all the best cards are uncommons? I really don't understand that. Next up, Stormfeet Sprinter, and it has haste and it can't be blocked, and it's just straight up a 2/2. It's another off-color pirate unless they're trying to make not black-red a thing. Maybe for some people, I don't know, looks pretty weak so far. But a creature that's a 2/2 for 3 that can't be blocked, that's pretty insane, and having haste on top of it, that's like mental. This is a really good card. Oh look, it's not a rare. Next up, whatever the hell this Russian stuff says, and it says return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, exile this card. Okay, so it's like a garbage version of Torrent Elemental for cheaper. Very few spells are worth wasting 2 blue to go get, but I don't know. If you go get like River's Rebuke, that'd be cool, but you know that whenever somebody can take a spell that they've already cast once and take it out of their graveyard and cast it again, that has been in the most degenerate, obnoxious, overpowered, ban-worthy, garbage freaking decks in the last 2 years. In fact, I still think that they should ban Torrent Elemental. Still. So the fact that this card exists really pisses me off. Next up, Thunderbird Migration. As an additional cost to cast Thunderbird Migration, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1. We get it. You want us to play tribal. Just shut the hell up, Wizards. My God. You don't need to shove it in our face that hard. Play dinosaurs, play nothing but dinosaurs, don't mix anything together, 0 creativity allowed, everybody do it our way. That's what they're saying with this garbage. Anyway, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, and shuffle your library. So, oh well, it isn't even a good spell. If landfall was still a thing, this wouldn't even be a good spell. This is like some just utter garbage version of Attune with the Aether, and it's honestly a garbage version of like Explosive Vegetation. Next up, Tomb Raider. It's a 1/1 with Menace for 3, so yeehaw. And if you pay 1, discard a card, it explores. So honestly, to get back up to the 3 that it should have been is going to take you about 2 explorers. Mathematically, a little bit more than that. I do like that they threw Menace on there because if you have like a 5/5 Menace, eventually that's pretty good. And it's recurring dirt cheap ramp, but because of that, they made you discard a card. So if you're looking for nothing but lands, you could, well, no, that's right. No, if you don't hit a land, it doesn't go to your hand. So you'd have to discard another card. Yeah, honestly, this isn't a very good card. Even if Madness was still a thing, this still wouldn't be a very good card. Hey guys, you know what? You want to know a secret? It's a rare. Next up, we've got Maraduste, whatever. It's not real French and it's not real Spanish. It's both of them crammed together into a garbage language that I can't stand. So this is a human pirate with flying, obviously, in case you didn't get that from the artwork. It's a 2/1 for 2, which is really good for an aerial creature, I guess you would say, in blue. That is damn good. And then whenever it attacks, target creature defending player controls loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. So they're 1 flying blocker, aka Kinjali Sunwing. Now it's nothing. It loses flying. It loses activated abilities, triggered abilities, everything, every keyword. It is a 0/1. That is freaking amazing. And the funny thing is this card works amazingly with Willbreaker, but that card hasn't been legal in like 2 years. But it's a recurring target with like an aerial threat. That is crazy. Oh, hey, it's actually a good rare. I didn't think the set had any of those. That's surprising. Well, that's it for the spoilers for today. So if this set looks absolutely terrible, just tribal garbage, zero creativity allowed, just the worst thing you've ever seen in your life, and if these spoilers gave you crippling depression or seasonal affective disorder, leave a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next spoiler.